All right, welcome back to Harry's Garage. Nope, this is not Harry's Garage, but we are in the south of France, and we're not going to be talking about Range Rovers today. We'll be talking about, well, the only car that we have, because this is not a car trip, but I did rent a car because I couldn't help it, and I got this thing. It's a Volkswagen, and it's white. So we were lucky enough to, or I have relatives that live in Cannes, and we were lucky enough to, and they're not here, so we're using their garage to store the car because it is almost impossible to park around here. So this is a Volkswagen Up, and it's a little four-door hot hatch, not a hot hatch, it's a very not hot hatch. It's a very slow, petrol-powered, 5-speed, 1 point something, no idea what the displacement is. Fun little rental car, and it's absolutely tiny, which is good. I wanted something tiny. I always tell myself when I come to Europe that I want to actually spend the money to get something a little bit upsized, a little more fun to buzz around with. I mean, south of France, fun coastal roads. But no, I end up just always getting the cheapest piece of junk because why not? And you can almost have just as much fun because you can't go that fast anyway. So let's see if we can get this thing pulled out of here, and we'll get it on the road, and I will road test the fastest car on earth. Wow. Ooh. All right, so again, to purchase a car for a covered garage in this part of the world, you almost need to bring your measuring tape to measure the car to see if it'll fit in your reserved spot, because a garage space around here is like gold, and you know, you got to be able to use it. So knowing the dimensions of your space and building is way more important than the car itself, honestly. All right, so that's pretty neat. It's a nice little Urus. I saw that car yesterday with a baby seat in it. So, you know, just daily transportation. So we're in Cannes, France, south of France. The film festival has been going on this week. We weren't here for the film festival, but with the film festival brings a very lively, diverse, interesting assortment of vehicles. I mean, Ferraris, Lamborghini, lots of Uruses, some new GT3s, lots of fun, you know, coastal Bentleys and Rolls Royces, you know, just kind of the stuff you'd normally see. Oh, yep, there's some mirror action going on there. This guy just knocked this guy's mirror in. Nice.
Nice and tight.
Nice and tight. So again, I think the Volkswagen Up will navigate this perfectly. So yeah, again, a lot of fun, interesting little cars run around during this time. BMW also sponsored the event, so there's a lot of electric i4s or M spec. Oh, there's one right there. Yeah, I don't really know what they are. It's an xDrive 40 iX. So that's the spec that was using as the official partner for chauffeuring around the stars, I guess, whoever is in attendance of the festival. So there's a lot of those, and the XM4 sedans as well. So again, you know, one of those things that you wouldn't really see so much in the States, but that you were kind of, you know, surrounded by them, and they actually look pretty good. So they fit perfectly in a little town like this. You know, but again, not something you'd be exposed to elsewhere. So we're gonna head out to head south along the coast, leaving Cannes, heading south, yeah. And we're going to get the up on the open road. So I'll check back once we're doing that. All right, and we're back, and might have just ran a red light to catch up to this. Looks like an 89 Classic, almost. Looks just like mine. See if I can get something on camera. Yeah, it's right there. I am not a good person to be with in the European area, but that thing is sweet. I'm gonna try to get up a little closer to it and get a better shot. And it took some maneuvering, but we found it. They are fully loaded. That is a silver. I'm gonna guess 89 Classic. I guess I can tell by the exposed hinges. I don't see exposed hinges. Let me see. Nope. That could be a 90s. I'm not sure, but it looks great. It's got the the light guards on it. Probably diesel. If not diesel, he's kind of a hero for putzing around the south of France at 95 octane. I'm not sure what that cost a liter, but probably way too much. 4 people in it. I mean, that's a visual right there. If you're a Range Rover fan, it doesn't really get any cooler just randomly spotting one of these somewhere where they're not very popular. And oh yeah, he's definitely got a little British flag hanging in the front of the windshield as well. So I'm gonna see if I can get a better shot of it once we get on a different motorway. But yeah, cool spotting down here in outside of Canton. Goodbye, friend. I might have exposed hinges. All right, we're back with the content and why you came here to talk about the Volkswagen Up. Yeah, I don't even remember what this thing's called. And I have a Freelander. He's right on my ass. He's absolutely ripping it up through the coast here. But that's, again, I said, video is not going to be about Rovers. It's going to be about Volkswagens. But yeah, let's talk about this one real quick. So I don't know the size of the motor. I do know that it doesn't have a lot of torque, but it does rev out all the way past 6, and it actually sounds pretty good. Once we get an open straight here, I'll rev it out to let you kind of hear it. Nice little buzzy. Again, if this was 10 years ago, I would have said it's a 4-cylinder, but I would guess it's maybe a 3. But I kind of like not knowing at this point. But yeah, 5-speed Volkswagen manual gearbox. Not a whole lot of shift feel, bushings and everything. It all still feels tight 'cause it's a new car. It's got 15,000 miles or whatever that is in kilometers. Oh, that's not a car. And honestly, compared to the other European rental cars that I've had in the past, I had a Fiat 500 at one point, which was terrible, very slow, still only a 5-speed. The suspension and the tuning of that felt like a 90s Buick, and this feels much better. I'm sure the tire pressure might need to be adjusted, but no, this car, it feels very decent for a tiny little micro car that might have 60 horsepower. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what the specs of this thing is, but it's got AC, it's got power windows. It's pretty cool, bare bones. It's got, this is body colored interior. It's not even trim, it's just part of the door. And they've got, they've just stamped the interior bits onto it. Fuel usage, like I said, is a petrol car. We've done 66 kilometers and used a quarter of a tank on these kind of curvy European-y roads, which I don't think is too terrible. I'm not really driving super economically. And it fits 4 people. Again, Cindy's comfortable. I had my parents in the back seat yesterday. A lot of second and first gear climbs through the mountains here. But, again, for a rental car and just for a complete appliance of an automobile used for doing this, it has a manual transmission, it has brakes, so therefore it is fun. So, that's about as good as much as you can ask for this thing. And that's really all there is to talk about. It even has a little mini trunk that actually fits some things, which is also impressive. Let's talk about something a little more important, the cars in the south of France. Stuff that I like, stuff that I don't like as much. Trying to shift. Yeah, the BMWs in France, the little 1 Series, the 118s, I believe, the 120s, they've kind of caught my eye. They're always pretty interesting. What else? Oh, Land Cruiser. Yeah, the Range Rovers and the Land Rovers are kind of taking it, but they don't make sense here. They're just absolutely way too big. Always been a fan of the bigger Peugeot sedans. What are they, 306s or 309s or something like that? I don't remember too many other things going on. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of interesting takes. Another thing that seems to be fairly consistent is older people actually seem to prefer older cars. Like, they've bought this car, they've had it for a long time. A lot of like an E38 BMW. I saw a couple W126 Mercedes, and it completely, fits the car, fits the owner fits the car. And it's really interesting to watch, something play out. Cars in the environment that they were meant for, doing the thing that they were meant for. It's like when you see all the taxis, they're all E-Class and S-Class Mercedes, and it absolutely fits. They usually have the smaller motor. They don't seem to fit up and down the streets, but that is the standard, and people seem to enjoy it. So it's nice to see them doing the thing that they were designed for, instead of just going to the country club. So, it's just, something that you pick up on the more you toddle around these cities. All right, so sorry, I was gathering my thoughts on the cars that I liked and disliked that made more sense here, and I forgot a couple. It was the BMW, like the 840 convertibles, lots of gray, red interior. Now that makes more sense in this area. Also the Mercedes CL, SL coupes, pillarless convertible coupes, makes a lot of sense. A lot of them are, 220 or 300Ds. Motor spec wise, all of them have the AMG trim packages and whatnot, but that is, you don't need the big motor in this type of environment. You just need, the aesthetic aspect of it, interesting, funky interiors, and you're pretty much good to go. So again, cars that don't really catch my eye anywhere else really make sense as a Mediterranean cruising appliance that you don't have to worry too much about. And it kind of looks good in any environment. But yeah, we're still headed south past Clum, I think it's called, south of Cannes. Just trying to enjoy the traffic of some of these nice little coastal roads. Too bad we're really limited by the traffic, or I'd let this Volkswagen Up just stretch its little legs, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. So the more I'm driving this, the more little touches that I'm noticing. If you see on the dash, see how it says 4? So it's telling you what gear you're in. And I don't think it tells you to downshift, but it definitely is a fan of telling you to upshift. Again, I'm sure that's part of the eco type programming for this particular car. And the other thing I noticed was the steering wheel. Great, really kind of like full-size steering wheel from a Golf. It's got a kind of a square bottom, feels nice and sporty. Definitely don't hate the feel of it. I'm trying to watch this motorcycle pass the police car up here. Definitely a different type of setting, but let me downshift and make this happen. But yeah, this is definitely like a parts bin type deal. I mean, the side mirrors are definitely from a Golf or something, a little more up model. Like I said, the steering wheel, shifter, it's just all, even the gauges, again, it's a full set of gauges, no temp gauge or anything like that, but very clear, analog, decent gauges. Looks like you got some charging ports and whatnot there, some storage, but everything you need, nothing you don't need. There are rear doors, but they don't have actual window mechanisms. They just kind of pop out, like on a little flange, so they don't open all the way. Manual mirrors, which is nice, like the passenger side of a W126 Mercedes, because again, you just do it, you adjust it, no drama. trying to merge. There's someone who's actually slower than me. And that is a foot to the floor in third gear. With 4 people in the car now. 4.5 people in the car, thank you. And yeah, it's not really doing it. It's telling me to stay in third, which is interesting. Speed limit's 90 kilometers, and we're just not there yet. All right, back at highway speeds, cruising at 120 kilometers, so 65, 70 miles an hour. 4 people in the car. Actually, I'm very impressed. Super composed, tight steering. The other thing I didn't mention about even these European rental cars is they've got decent tires. It has Continental Eco contacts, which are not terrible tires. They have a decent contact patch and not a terrible width. So, this feels completely normal. Doesn't feel like I'm in a tiny little shit box. And yeah, running along around 3,000 RPM, and it feels like a totally normal car. And I'm definitely not mad about it. We keep hitting all these little tolls. We'll do a fully loaded 0 to 60 test coming up in the next toll booth. So all the fun tests. Yes. Yes. Perfecto. So, I think our time with this little nugget is up. Like I said, I didn't know this was a car, but I've started to see, now that I've talked about it, Instagram just showing me other ones just due to, I guess, the voice recognition and whatnot. One last test. Me sitting behind myself, and I absolutely fit. I'm 6'1", 6'2", plenty of headroom, fun little car, like cup holder back here, red stitching in the seats. I would mess with this. I don't know what these cost new, but it is just a fun little city car that was kind of really impressed by. No sunroof, sport edition. There's those decent tires I was talking about. Not the skinniest I've ever seen on a rental car either. So again, just a kind of quick run through, fun little France trip, fun little rental car, and yeah, pretty neat. All right, I had to at least check. I know I'm doing this review completely out of order, and I'm gonna guess, like I was wondering, that it is a 3-cylinder, obviously petrol little motor. So yeah, that is absolutely tiny. I see the coil pack, and then 1, 2, 3 on the exhaust manifold. So yeah, little 3-cylinder, neat. Okay.